Should Manchester United press the panic button? Because I feel like that's what this is in signing Adrian Rabiot right now. But I want to gauge your opinions on this one, Manchester United fan base. Do United need that extra midfielder? Do we need that bit more experience in there? And a baller? Is Adrian Rabiot the answer for United right now? And the price that it would cost to get him in on his wage demands? Going to get that. Christian Eriksen to Ajax. The Dutch transfer window is not closed yet. I didn't know about this. I completely forgot that everyone has different windows. The Dutch do. And that is tonight. So Christian Eriksen to Ajax. What could make that happen? How does it need to work to make that happen for Christian Eriksen to make the move? We'll get into all the details on that and more. Welcome along to the midday live show, everybody. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam. Please start the video off by giving it a good old like, and let's get them likes up as close to 1,000 as we can. Again, everybody, let's keep it going. Let's keep the momentum moving on the channel, because we're going to need to cheer ourselves up a bit after what we watched, obviously, over the last few weeks of the opening to this Premier League season. And please do make sure that you have hit that subscribe button as well. Many of you have done already. Welcome along, everyone who is new to the channel and has just subscribed. Make sure you also hit that bell notification as well. Okay. It has been a tough old couple of days, hasn't it, being a Manchester United fan? It has. I quickly want to just say, look, I'm not trying to force United down your throats at all with this one or anything like that, but we do have the opportunity to get you to Old Trafford. I just want to say a massive thank you to Football Prizes, again, our partners here at Forever United TV. But you can also get the chance to win a signed Kobbie Mainoo t-shirt, which is the prize that I would want out of this all along. The link is in the live chat right now and the description, guys. Click on that to get your chance to win hospitality tickets to the Spurs game on the 29th of this month. But more importantly, that Kobbie Mainoo signed shirt, fully authenticated as well, guys. And a chance to win one of the 3 United jerseys of this season as well. Whether or not you'd think that hospitality ticket was worth it, give it a bash anyway. You might as well. If you want to leave your Instagram tag in a comment below on this video, I will double your ticket if you want that to happen. If you are that keen to get back to Old Trafford, that is. Let's get into what's going on with the news, though, first of all, and more importantly, and that is that Christian Eriksen to Ajax, Rabiot to Manchester United. Some reports have come out saying that this is still a possibility. The transfer window that we thought was shut has still got opportunities for United to salvage something from it. Should we? Could we? Let's have a look if we can. So, right, where's this news come from? All right, first of all, obviously, I didn't know. I didn't pay much attention to it. Like most people, I was happy with our transfer window. I thought we did good business, and I thought it was shut. I didn't pay attention, and we didn't realise that, obviously, Christian Eriksen, who was on Manchester United's out list at the right price and does have a price on his head. If United were to sell Christian Eriksen, Rabiot definitely appeals to the football club, because we could probably afford his wages a little bit more. In the final stages of the Dutch transfer window, Ajax are trying to make an attempt to sign Christian Eriksen, who they see as a golden opportunity. Ajax have been in frequent contact with him. However, United's financial demand is making the deal hard, i.e., Ajax are looking to sell players to get Christian Eriksen through the door. I think Bergwijn is a player that they're looking to move on in the last few hours of the Eredivisie transfer window. And if that happened, United could possibly let Christian Eriksen go. Now, we know what Manchester United's price is for Christian Eriksen. I think it was between 5 and 10 million, somewhere in that sort of bracket. If Ajax can't afford that, then kind of is a little bit desperate. But they are looking to move Bergwijn on instead, and obviously then replace him with Christian Eriksen. They would love him back at the football club. I think Eriksen will be happy to go as well. His chances are going to be numbered at Manchester United this season. I think he's come to terms with that. But will this happen in the last few hours of the window? Some say it will, some say it won't. But we will have to wait and see. At the moment, with Ajax struggling to move other players on, it's looking like this won't happen more than will happen. So don't get excited about it. I don't think anyone's really excited for Christian Eriksen to stay or leave. It's a nothing sort of deal for United. But it's what it could open up for United in terms of Eriksen gone, his wages gone, and that would go a long way to affording Adrian Rabiot, who is more important in this conversation than Christian Eriksen. Eriksen plays his part. But do United pull the trigger? Do United give themselves another midfielder for no transfer fee, as we know, but bigger wages? His wage demands are astronomical by all accounts. I definitely cannot see AC Milan, who are closest, apparently, according to reports, in bringing in Adrian Rabiot, affording his wages. There's not a chance in hell that AC Milan are going to be able to afford them wages. We know that Juventus were offering him big money to stay on for another year. And another few years, sorry. And AC Milan are nowhere near what Juventus are in terms of what they can afford. So, really, I just look at this and go, if United are desperate, they would go and get Adrian Rabiot. Obviously, we threw Toby Collier, unfortunately, a lamb to the slaughter yesterday. We threw him to the Lions, didn't we? In a no-win situation. Go and replace one of the most decorated midfielders of all time while you're 2-0 down and everyone in your team is playing shit. That was the message from Ten Hag to Toby Collier. I just hope it's not scarred him, to be honest, because I thought that was bad yesterday. I was buzzing for him getting on the pitch, but it could have really been in better circumstances for him. Unfortunately, United were desperate, and that's why we're doing this video now. Like, do we desperately need to bring in another midfielder? Is Adrian Rabiot an opportunity more than another expensive player on big wages that we won't be able to move on and bring someone else in for at the end of the season? How desperate are Manchester United to salvage this season? Because with the midfielders that we've got, yes, obviously Casemiro can be rested now with Agate coming into Manchester United, and we can rotate a little bit more, but still, we know we are limited in that midfield. Creative-wise, we didn't really create loads yesterday. A couple of crosses that went in that in the end we might have got something out of the game or made it look a bit more respectable for ourselves. But creation-wise, what does Rabiot bring any more to the table? Maybe. He plays further up the field. Can we drop Bruno and play something a bit different with Rabiot in the side? Look, big questions, but big decisions. Like, Ten Hag, will he go to Ineos and Dan Ashworth and Omar Baradov and say, look, can we bring Rabiot in? I think we can do something here. It looks a bit... Do you know what I mean? Ten Hag going to Ineos now and saying, can you bring me Rabiot? It looks desperate. It does to me. I think this is a desperate shout if you're going for Rabiot right now. It means, again, look, the transfer window is shut. Usually we'd get desperation calls and trying to bring players in on deadline day. But after deadline day, trying to get a free agent... Look, opportunities are there. I think Rabiot has waited around. I've said this in the transfer window. He's going to wait for these windows to shut and then see who's desperate enough to take him. And he will bring quality to a squad, but let's not forget now, he holds all of the cards in the negotiation department. He can charge whatever he wants, and I think he will. Will United drop into that bracket and bring in another player that doesn't fit the profile that Ineos are looking for? If you're going to ask me right now, I don't think United bring in Rabiot. I don't. I just don't think he fits the Ineos mould. And I think Ineos are just going to tell Ten Hag straight, go, we give you everything that you wanted this window. Go and fix this shit on the pitch, mate. Don't come to us for any more. Like, seriously, how many players does Ten Hag need? I don't think he will. I think this report is just speculating because of everything that went down yesterday and the carnage which was Old Trafford's humiliation at the hands of Liverpool. I think that's why this story's going around. But I wanted to see what you guys thought. Like, are you in that boat where you like, just get me another midfielder in that might make a difference? Should we be just going all in on Rabiot to get him in and give us that little bit of something more for this season ahead? Or should we just say no? Let's just fix this ourselves. Let's do some better coaching. Let's do a bit different setup. Let's try and make some players better. Maybe. Like, actually do what you're paid to do and actually coach. Maybe. But no, quite a lot of you, and we have got a poll up right now, so please get involved in the poll. Should United go for Rabiot? 83% of you have said yes. If you want to have your say and make that a no, then get in the vote. Get voting in the poll right now. Zayn Yassi is in with a super chat. If you lose next one, will you be in the relegation battle? There is no relegation battle early doors, is there? But it will be in the relegation zone early doors anyway, I know that. The mistake yesterday, dragging out the Agate deal. Dragging it out, trying to get the right deal. Look, for the longer run, look, we can't put yesterday down to Manuel Agate not signing for Manchester United. Cheers for the super chat, Zane and Mark. Appreciate it, guys. We can't blame yesterday down on Manuel Agate not signing in time, but the whole system was wrong. Look, the reason we lost that game yesterday was because of Ten Hag's tactics and the players not being able to deal with going behind. nothing's changed. That's been the same since Ten Hag has come into Manchester United. How many times do we come from behind? Like we melt. As soon as we go a goal behind, there's no plan B. We don't know what we're doing. And the players' mentalities just disappear. Like, there is no strength in adversity in Manchester United's mindset in our squad. And that was clear yesterday. Arne Slot came out in the interview and embarrassed Ten Hag in telling everyone exactly what he did and how easy it is to play against Manchester United. If anyone's watching this, watching that game yesterday and then listening to Arne Slot after the game, well, we know that Ten Hag doesn't change and he isn't adaptable. And unless he does, he's screwed. So if I'm Southampton, if I'm Crystal Palace, and I'm looking at this, now I'm looking at that game yesterday, I'm looking at Ten Hag and I'm going, I don't think it will change. I think we just follow the blueprint of what Liverpool did and we will create umpteen chances and cause Manchester United a world of problems. Does Rabiot change what we saw yesterday? No, it doesn't. It doesn't, because it all comes down to the system and what Ten Hag's playing. Look, you can replace Bruno Fernandes with Rabiot. Maybe he'll hit a few more passes that hit their Manchester United target and his percentages will be up. But it's not going to change anything. Like, Rabiot's not going to score as loads of goals. He's not going to score more goals than Bruno Fernandes or create more chances than Bruno Fernandes. Are we going to take one of our only players that actually performed yesterday out in Kobe Mainoo for Rabiot? This is the problems that arise when you bring someone like Rabiot in. I think people are just desperate now to bring in another face because we look like we are down to bare bones in midfield again. Look, we have got plenty of midfielders here. Look, Mason Mount is injured, obviously. Manuel Ugarte is not fit yet. There's 2 more to come in. Christian Eriksen is there. Obviously, we're looking to move him on to Ajax possibly and bring in Rabiot. I would prefer Rabiot to Christian Eriksen. I think he's got a lot more. In both in physicality, I would say definitely in terms of quality. Eriksen, I think his days are completely numbered. If United can sell Christian Eriksen and get money for him now, I would do it. But United have to look at how they fit these players in rather than just bringing players in. This is what we've done before. We just bring players in and hope that they are going to do something and change our look. Without the right guidance, it doesn't matter who you bring in. You need coaching, you need methods, you need a plan. United don't have a plan. It's as simple as that. And Rabiot is not going to change the way that Manchester United are playing. And he isn't going to take us into that top 4. He's an option and squad depth that you could probably say is worth having. A bit of quality and depth is always worth having. But still, Rabiot won't have changed anything that happened yesterday. I don't think Ugarte would have changed anything that happened yesterday. Yes, you could say Casemiro made mistakes, but let's be honest. If that game was tight, United wouldn't have got the chances that they would have had. Ten Hag's going on about United getting 2 clear-cut chances for Eriksen off the crosses of Marcus Rashford. Yeah, because Liverpool switched off because it was 3-0. United created nothing when that game was tight. We huffed and puffed, but what did we do? How many times did Alisson have to make a save? And people say we were combative and we were in the game for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Ten Hag, everyone feeding off what Ten Hag said, like for 30 minutes we were in the game. Yeah, in the scoreline we were. But on the pitch and quality-wise, no. Actually, in the first 30 minutes I thought it was a shit game, to be honest. I thought both teams were poor. But you could always see the quality and the idea, and everyone in the Liverpool shirt knew what they were doing. And they would have known what they were doing even if they went behind. United didn't, and that's the problem we've got. Rabiot, Ugarte, Højlund being fit, everything, it doesn't matter. The players are there for Ten Hag to work with. And he just can't get the best out of them. And like I said, I like Rabiot as a player, only just liking him. Like he's not going to get me off my seat. I just think he's good squad depth. I think he's a better squad player than what Christian Eriksen would be. He's not going to change our look or our fortune in this season, I don't think, because it's the same message going to every single player. It's like Eriksen had his breakthrough season last season. He's come in. He struggled in the first few games. You're looking at Lenny Yoro, who's going to be coming in January. It was his first breakthrough season. If he hasn't got a organised midfield in front of him, then Yoro's going to have the same problems that Harry Maguire has had, that Martinez has had all the way through Ten Hag's time at Manchester United. So Yeah, I think it's just a bit of desperation. There was a lot of talk also about Casemiro going to Saudi Arabia and United actually looking to maybe move him on as well. It's not going to happen, honestly. It's like the Saudi Pro League, I think their window ends this week, later on this week. Casemiro isn't going. I don't think Eriksen will go, and I don't think United will buy Adrian Rabiot. I don't want to burst people's bubbles, but that's the reality of where we're at right now. Deal with what we've got. Figure it out from within. We've got enough in here, in this squad, to win the games that we have been humiliated in so far. Humiliated in the Liverpool one, but yeah, it was close with Brighton. Look, we struggled to get over the line against Fulham. Some good moments there. We were unlucky against Brighton, but then we were absolutely smashed to pieces by Liverpool. So, really, just looking at everything that we've got in front of us, you've got to say that we have got more than enough. We don't need to bring any more players in. And there's no one out there that's really going to improve Manchester United to the levels that everyone thinks they are. I just think people are overly looking the fact that Rabiot isn't wanted by anyone. Why should United be going for him? Well, I would have took Rabiot if he was part of a plan in the transfer window, but now it looks desperate because the window's shut. That's where I'm at with it. Judge says, the fans thinking that Rabiot will make much of a difference are deluded. Look at our options. Agate, Menu, overworked. Casemiro, dead, whatever that means. Eriksen, unwanted. Mount, 24/7, injured. Not looking good, no. Maybe we'll see a win. Hooray. I don't know what that means, Babs. That might have been replying to someone else. It looks desperate because we are desperate, says Ben. Could say that, yes. Niall says, Barnsley, Busby Babes, coming, get in another Tommy Taylor. We need a 9. We should have gone for João Neves, says Sung Lee. Maybe, but I think Agate was top target, wasn't he? I'd use the money and sack this fraud, says Blitz Extreme. Ineos doubling down on Erik ten Hag was such an idiotic move, says Andrew. Question for Adam. There's Nagelsmann, Tuchel and Zidane, but there's another geezer out there nobody's talking about. No Sam Allardyce, but what about Jurgen Klopp to come in next season, maybe? Jurgen Klopp's already said he will never come to the Premier League again. So that's out of the window. Look, Nagelsmann was always my choice. I think Tuchel's a better manager than Ten Hag as well. I think he gets more out of his players. I think he proved that last season. Another super chat from Mark. Cheers, buddy. Tell the fallbacks both can't go. Problem sorted. Tell the fallbacks both can't go. Fullbacks? Is that a typo, Mark? I think I'm getting mixed up there because you're saying fallbacks. Maybe a fallback in terms of a transfer plan, fallback option. But I think you mean fullbacks in that. Around about 900 in the room. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this lunchtime show. I wasn't doing a lunch. I was going to have a different type of video, but I thought it was just good to see how everyone was feeling about this Rabiot report and possibly bringing him in. So I wanted to do a live show just to gauge everyone's opinions on it, really. Please give the video a like. We're only at 176 likes and we've got nearly 1,000 in the room, so please get them likes up, everyone. Let's get them moving and motoring. Would sell Bruno for sure next summer. Give him a chance. Come on. Adam, just think how much better we would have been yesterday with McFred in the midfield. Also, forget how it looks. But what about bringing De Gea back? That ship has sailed. Ten Hag is as stubborn as they come. He will keep playing Onana, knowing you've got an international goalkeeper in Bayende who might do better, because he has backed Onana and he is his goalkeeper and worked with him before. Sometimes just accept that you've got it wrong and you can go a million miles with that. You may even progress a little bit more. There are other options for Ten Hag. I think Bayende deserves a chance. Look, I'm not going to say I've seen him play loads. I'm not going to say that he is an outstanding goalkeeper and deserves to be in there more than what Onana does. I'm not going to say he's like the world's best and he's going to change everything. But do you know what? For the sake of change and variety, why don't we just try Bayende and see? But we know that Ten Hag won't. And we know that he isn't going to go anywhere near another goalkeeper while he's in. I think first thing their new manager comes in and does is change United's goalkeeper. I do. Graham in the chat, there's no depth because McTominay was sold ahead of Casemiro and Eriksen. The board and Ten Hag allowed that to happen. To be honest, Graham, the depth isn't McTominay. McTominay's just another desperate player to come on. He wouldn't have made a difference yesterday either. You may have been able to lump a ball up and he might have been able to get on the end of a goal or something, but in terms of phases of play and everything like that, McTominay wouldn't have made no difference yesterday. And we know that. Everybody knows that. The areas of the pitch where United in the midfield need depth are the ones that we're struggling with. Like, obviously, Casemiro, I don't think would have been starting if Agate was fit. Collier has been, like I said, thrown to the Lions yesterday in that performance and being brought on to try and recover an impossible situation. Bruno Fernandes was absolute dog shit yesterday. He was horrendous as a captain yesterday. Poor decision making. The whole midfield yesterday, like Kobbie Mainoo was at fault for the third goal, like just out strength, out fought. But he wasn't our worst player, definitely not. The team needs building around Kobbie Mainoo. Like, Agate will be a good foil for Kobbie Mainoo, I think. And I think that's important as well to remember. But also, I feel like we are... It's not like we're missing something. We're just missing Ten Hag actually making difficult decisions. He won't make them. Definitely need an extra experience in there and a world-class winger and centre-forward. We just spent, like, what was it? Just over 100 million on Højlund and Zirkzee. Do we need to buy another centre-forward as well next summer? Someone who is going to guarantee you goals? Yeah. Neil says, all midfield was a joke yesterday. Cannot just blame Bruno. No one is just blaming Bruno. I think everyone's blaming Casemiro, mate. Bruno is crap and he's not a captain. We should have sold him when we had the chance. If you're down, he's not the man to look to. Zirkzee is overrated. The guy was lost yesterday. It's hard for new players to come in and deal with that situation. We can't be blaming them. We have to look at the experienced players in our side and go, you're the ones that let us down yesterday. It's as simple as that. Van Dijk was right. They knew Zirkzee wanted the ball to feet and exploited that information. Yeah, they did. They figured it out very, very quickly. Only for some desperate attempts and crosses into the box did Zirkzee look like he could make something happen yesterday. He should have put the chances away. But let's not forget, like, that was simply because Liverpool had switched off and they were 3-0 up and cruising that them chances came around. So it wasn't like it was through passages of play or United working their way into a game. The game was lost. And United just ended up playing old school football and put some crosses in. And Zirkzee, being 6'4" and an absolute beast, got on the end of a couple. Didn't get the target, but you'd expect his chances are quite decent. If you're going to put a ball in the box, maybe that's something that we should try more often. Bit of old school football. Get out on the wings and cross the ball in. You know what? Strikers do thrive on that sort of situation as well, you know. Onana, Bruno and Rashford will never be dropped. Onana can't stop a beach ball. Rashford is just mentally gone. Bruno needs to be told, play in the pockets. Bruno works better in the false nine, people have said, because he can do what he wants. He can run around everywhere. His positional discipline is poor, Bruno Fernandes. He's like, he won't stick to a position. Ten Hag needs to control these players. He needs to be told. He's just hoping that he does something for him, though. It's hit and hope football. There is no actual... There's no flow to United's game. There's no passages of play. There's nothing there. Again, just going back to the top of the show, like, do you really think that more bodies and more numbers coming in squad... Ineos know what they're doing. They've got rid of 17 players and brought 7 in of note. They know that this squad needs to be fleeced and brought down so we can actually find out what the real problem is. When you've got so many players and the bad culture that's going around Manchester United that it has been, like the pressure that was on Ole, like the help that he didn't get, you can say the same for every single manager. But the open heart surgery that Ralph Rangnick was talking about is started to happen. Ineos are cutting the squad size down in hope that we can actually start to find the real problem and real root of the problem. As more of these little issues are taken away by Ineos, it will start to uncover where the fault is. And at the moment, it's looking right at that dugout at Manchester United's manager in Ten Hag not being able to get anything out of these players. I don't want Ten Hag to be given any more players. I don't. He's had enough. We need to see a style of play. We need to see, and I know that gets used and overworked, the style of play thing, but we need to start enjoying watching our football again. We don't want to be scoring a couple of goals and conceding one and hanging on for dear life and saying, whoa, we were defensively solid, that's all right. We can't live off that forever and a day. That's basically what United's end of season was. We ended up not playing a striker just so we could pack out the midfield and be a lot more solid and hard to beat. And we got some good results out of it. That's not going to be sustainable going through a whole season. Not a chance. You need to have an idea. You need to know what you're doing and what the plan is and what you want to play football like. Look, so Jim Radcliffe, first thing he said was, we want to be playing fast-flowing, attacking football. Well, if the man that you employed is not doing that, then it's down to you to sort that out. He will win games coming up, Ten Hag. And I think it will bide him, it will give him a little bit of time while Ineos make a decision. But I think Ineos are already looking for the end of the season for another manager, personally. I think this was the plan. Give Ten Hag that option of an extended year. We've not employed him on our terms or anything like that. We've given him everything. And like nobody will come to Ineos next summer and say that this is a bad decision getting rid of Ten Hag if you do get rid of him. No one will. Everyone will be looking at it and going, well, he gave him a chance. They gave him a chance, didn't they? They backed him. They gave him a structure. They got rid of the headaches. And look at the players that we've got rid of. Like, honestly, like Greenwood was never coming back to Manchester United. And you know, this is like the future of United is sort of like secure, I think, with Ineos in place. They may look at this and Ruda giving Ten Hag another go at this. They may think and regret this, but look at what they've done. Look at like the 50% sell-on for Mason Greenwood. He is absolutely destroying it in France right now. His value is only going up, and United will make more money off that deal. Cambrella is doing well in Spain. Obviously, you've got all of the other deals as well going on that we've sold players from. And, I mean, you only have to look at Wan-Bissaka yesterday, at weekend against City. Again, looked completely out of his depth. It was a right decision to get rid of. So everything that Ineos are doing is right off the pitch. And eventually they will come to the decision like the one thing that's stopping us moving forward is an actual plan on the pitch. The United fans are walking out of Old Trafford half an hour early because they're not enjoying the football. That's the only reason. They would have stayed in hope that they could have clung on to something, but they've seen this movie before. It's goal behind and everything falls apart. That's Ten Hag's Manchester United. If we go in front, we've got a chance. Everyone stays. We've got a perfect opportunity here to try and win a game. But they know the writing's on the wall as soon as United go behind. And that's why fans leave. They are not enjoying their football. I can tell you firsthand. And anyone who goes to Old Trafford will know this. The screams and the shouts that come from the fans are just of a fan base that are deprived of watching any stylish or attractive looking football. It's gone from Manchester United, and Ten Hag thinks it's actually all right. But yeah, you've got to have adaptability. You've got to have an identity, and everybody has to be on board with the plan. I just don't see these players being on board with it, unfortunately. And I think like Ten Hag clinging on to the only reason you play, I said it before, I don't want to go on about it. The only reason you play Marcus Rashford is because you know he can do something. That doesn't fit into any sort of like system or style of play. Rashford isn't going to press for you. Rashford isn't going to trap back every single time. You've got other players that will, but he won't play him. He's never going to be able to implement his style as long as he keeps his favourites playing on that pitch, sadly. And that's, I think everyone can see that. Europa League tickets go on sale tomorrow. I wonder how ticket sales will go. Again, Jonathan, it's a good point. Like the fans will talk with their feet. And this is where Ineos will come down. It's like if United are not filling stadiums, they're looking to build a 100,000-seater stadium. They're not going to have Ten Hag football playing in a 100,000-seater stadium because they can't fill it because everyone's bored shitless about what they're watching. How many fans do you reckon would fill a 100,000-seater stadium at Manchester United? I mean, sorry, I said that wrong then. How many people do you reckon are going to go to a stadium? It's nice, new stadium, great and all that, fantastic. But at the end of the day, the facilities are one thing. It's part of the show, isn't it? Like, you go in, you buy your ticket to be entertained. Like, if it's not entertaining football, then fans are not going to go. And Ineos will make a decision. Like, it was actually in the balance right now of what to do with the stadium and what to do in building a new one. If the football stays like this, look, then you've got no chance. And Ineos will make a decision. They will. It'll be interesting to see. And I've already said it all along. I was talking to people earlier on today, and I just said, look, as long as he's in Europe, he's got a chance of staying. But then again, I think back and I go, that was the old model Manchester United. Will Ineos be any different in pulling the trigger on a manager? They have made decent money out of players. They've got enough to actually get rid of Ten Hag. Will he do it? They can see a season. I think if it doesn't go well for Manchester United, when we come back from international break, I think a conversation is happening at Old Trafford. A conversation definitely needs to happen within that boardroom, and it will be about Ten Hag's future, because you don't. The one thing that's, and we've all seen the pictures with him, is his head in his hands. You've got to be able to see everything working on the pitch to believe in the manager that you've got running the show. He is the biggest and most important person at his football club right now, because the money that's been spent is money for him to make United play good. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe knows he's put himself on the line by saying what he said in that interview. He said that we want to play fast-flowing, attacking football. We want to knock City and Liverpool off their perch. Well, one of them teams, Liverpool, has had a manager in the door for 3 minutes, and he's already embarrassed us. Absolutely embarrassed us, and come out on national TV and told everybody how to beat Manchester United. It's easy. He embarrassed us in the pre-season game. He's embarrassed us in the Premier League. He found it really easy. I remember it was Vincent Kompany said when he was having his purple patch with Burnley. He came to Old Trafford in Ten Hag's first season and said Manchester United are the easiest team to press that he's ever played, that he's played against. And that was in his championship season at Burnley before he got promoted. They came and United beat them a couple of moments from Marcus Rashford, I think, in that game. But he said the same thing. He said it was easy. Look, Burnley almost beat us twice last season. They got a draw and we scraped to win 1-0 against them. That's a promoted side again. United, when they come back against Southampton, if it goes wrong down on the South Coast after this international break, Ten Hag has got a big problem. A massive problem. And Ineos will be having a discussion. But yeah, I mean, this trying to be positive, try not to be too negative, but at the end of the day, I've always said it, like, I'll say what I see. And what I see is a team, again, with a weak mentality that can only be changed at Carrington. These coaches need to figure out what's going on with these players. They need to get, I don't know how they do it, but they need to put into these players' psyches, like, how they get through games like this, how they can actually cope with adversity within a game. Because it's crazy how you've got some of the most experienced players that have won everything that have absolute meltdowns like we do. No other club has this. No other club has Matthias de Ligt kicking a ball out of play when trying to make a pass. The goalkeeper doing exactly the same thing. Casemiro gifting 2 assists. Bruno Fernandes passing straight to an opponent when it's an easy pass straight up. No other team has this. But United at this level, yeah, everyone makes mistakes, but not at the level that we do. It's like when I was talking to Flex yesterday, and he said it. The domino effect after one mistake or we go behind with the rest of the team is frightening. And he's dead right in what he said. He said it spreads like a virus across the whole team. And it's horrible to watch. Because you want to get behind players, but you see them crumbling and you're like, oh God, if you cannot handle this sort of pressure, you do not belong on that pitch in that red shirt. Yeah, there's a lot of people that would say, look, give it to Ruud van Nistelrooy. He could be a manager that gets more. I don't know. I don't know if he's experienced enough. He's definitely not going to learn anything from Ten Hag. He'll learn how to not play football. on not how to set a team up. I was saying it before to a City fan in the gym, and he said, like, what is from the outside, it just looks absolutely deluded. And that's all people looking. You look at what Jamie Carragher said. The only argument you've got against it is United fans blindly backing a manager. I've seen other people, like I said this morning, who were a big part of Ten Hag staying. Like, get behind this manager. You can't sack this manager. And like I said before, 3 games in, them same people on them same channels are saying, this is over, this is the end. Get rid of Ten Hag now. And like, you wanted him. You've seen what he was doing last season. 8th in the Premier League and an FA Cup win. Tells you exactly where Manchester United were last season. We are a cup side that can turn it on in any sort of individual game when we want to, but can't consistently play a system or a style of play that's going to get us anywhere up where we need to in the league. We haven't got it in us. The day-to-day Premier League football, that's your bread and butter. That's the trophy. Ten Hag says we're going to be competing for trophies at the end of the season. The only 2 trophies Manchester United fans care about, really, if you ask them, are the Champions League and the Premier League. And we're not competing in any of them. And because we can't compete for the Premier League, Ten Hag wants us to ignore what happens in the Premier League and just remember the cup games that we win. I'm sorry. I thought it was puzzling on what Ten Hag said before the game in the pre-match press conference, saying that we're behind Manchester City. When I told that the City fan this morning, he absolutely laughed his head off. I went, yeah, Manchester United are only behind Manchester City in performance. We're performing better than anybody else because we've won 2 trophies over the last 2 years. That's scandalous. And then he come out and backed that and doubled down on it after the game, after we'd just been spanked by Liverpool, because the Premier League doesn't matter. It doesn't. I'm sorry, it does. And it does to a lot of United fans. And that's why they all started walking out. Again, anyway, I sound like a right miserable sod right now, don't I? I do apologise, everyone. You know I try to keep it all positive as best I can. But yes, just to go over the news at the top. Yeah, again, the Eredivisie transfer window does shut tonight, so there is a possibility, if the opportunity comes around, that Eriksen can go to Ajax. At the moment, no, it is reliant on other players leaving Ajax, and that does look unlikely. So don't get too excited about Eriksen leaving. I don't even think it's a story, really. If he stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes. Don't think it makes much impact. I do believe that we would need another body in, though, if Eriksen did go, and that's why the rumours of Rabiot possibly coming to Manchester United are circulating now within the sports media world and everything like that. So, yeah, don't look too far into it. There are possibilities there. It is real, and the Eredivisie transfer window does shut tonight, so that is a fact. Whether United are going to use this to try and push Eriksen out the door and bring Rabiot in, that's another story, and I think it's far down the line, to be honest, from us actually getting that over the line even. But yes. Anyway, that is everything for the show, everyone. Thank you so much. Midday show. I was going to do something a bit different, but I did want to gauge your thoughts on Rabiot. We have got a poll up, which has got over 1,200 votes on it already. Should United go for Rabiot? 81% of you have said yes. 19% of you have said no. I think that's probably about right, to be honest. I think we do have a super chat in the house there from, JP Khan says, Roy Keane for manager. He would scare the living piss out of all of that United squad. I don't think he'd be playing anyone. He don't like anyone in that team, does he? But yeah, no. Scholes, Keane, Neville, all of the same people that were slagging Man United off last season are doing it again, only 3 weeks into the season. Will that force Ineos into action? That's the question. And action, you could mean bringing another player in Rabiot, or getting rid of Ten Hag if he loses a few more games. What are they going to do? The pressure is on Ineos more than anybody else right now, because everyone knows what Ten Hag is going to do going forward. Question is, do they act on it? They're the ones that kept him in situ at Manchester United. They're the ones that kept him in his job. And he could have gone elsewhere. They actively, like Carragher said, are looking for other managers. They don't like this manager. They have to make it happen. But still, we will see what comes. I'll be back later on, guys, 6:30 with the evening show. Make sure you're there, everyone. International break now, so we don't have any football to stress us out. But the aftermath of that shambles that was used today has just continued on a little bit longer than what we thought. But that's it, guys, for now. Thank you, everybody. Mods, members, super chats. Thank you, everyone. It's been a good show, been a good conversation, actually, and I appreciated all of your comments. Don't forget, guys, if you want to have a chance to win a Kobe Mainu signed shirt, the link is in the live chat and the description. Drop a comment in below with your Instagram tag if you want to double down on your tickets. I will uphold that as well. So drop me a comment in below saying I have bought a ticket with your Instagram tag, and I will DM you back on that. And that is us all finished, everyone. Thank you so much. I will see you all later on this evening.